Hello viewers, welcome to the YouTube channel. You are watching my YouTube channel and I am Sushil Shalat. In this video, I'm going to explain you a command or a function in Excel which is not very significant or very popular, but well, it is equally important and useful in approach and application. It is called as switch. Yes, switch. So let's get on to the switch function without wasting much time onto the introduction. So here we are onto the Excel workbook and we are going to get a demonstration about the switch function in this workbook with various examples. So what does switch function do? Switch function evaluates an expression against a list of values. So there are expressions which are being taken into consideration. So the expressions are very much here. So expression is taken into consideration and this expression against a list of values. So there will be number of values here, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. And then what does it return? It returns the result corresponding to the first matching value. Mind well, it is a first matching value. And if there is no match, then by default it will return a error message or a default message. So here it is. With so much of theory, it may be a little puzzling, but well, let me give a demonstration and it will be easy for you to understand. Before we go on to the switch function, let me give a very small short explanation about a function called weekday. So what does weekday do? So weekday returns a day number of a week. So number 1 will be Sunday and number 7 will be Saturday of the week day. So what I'm going to do is it asks for a input and so I'm going to choose the cell B7 wherein a date has been put in. I'll close the parenthesis and say enter. So as soon as I say enter, it gives me weekday number 1, that is Sunday. So friends, what I have done here in this example is I'm going to use this date and for that given date, what is the day or the weekday, that is what I'm going to return by using the function switch. So what does this switch function do? The same things we can do with the functions nested if and if s. So if s came into picture into the later stages of Excel versions, earlier it was only nested if. So here if I go onto this cell C9 and show you the functions what are seen here in the screen, it will be very much evident to you that this is what the if function works like. So if you see, for every day or every option of the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there is a if function and then it is nested 7 times to return the value of the weekday, that is number 1 day of the week, that is Sunday. So if someone says weekday number 1, it becomes little uh, absurd to note down that what is number 1 day. So it's easy to say Sunday or Monday or whatever day it is. So the nested if used is such a long function. The next thing what I have demonstrated here is the if s function. If s function also by default is not so small. You can see the length of this function and only advantage here is the if is not repeated 7 times. But well, you can note down that the cell C7 is equal to C7 is equal to has been repeated 7 times and that is little tedious. So this switch function is little better than if s function and let me give a demo as to how the switch function works. So here I'm going to type the switch function. So as I said, it evaluates the expression against the list of values and returns the corresponding first matching value as the result. So well, with this, I will start choosing the expression. So what I'm going to choose here as expression is the value in cell C7, that is weekday. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the function weekday and choose the date cell here as input. I'm going to close parenthesis. With this weekday as an expression, now the first value will be 1 and this value corresponds to Sunday and so on and so forth. I will go on writing the values. So the next day will be Monday. Number 3 will be Tuesday. So there it is, friends. So the complete function has been written here and you can watch it. After I have written this complete function or the arguments are completed, I'm going to close the parenthesis here. And now when I say enter, it is going to return me the day Sunday. So if you go back here and watch the function again, you can easily make out that switch function is reduced, and here the expression is what has been taken as an input. That is the important thing. So the input here turns out to be the weekday. This portion is the expression. The next thing is the result value, or sorry, the value. So value 1, value 2, value 3, value 4, so on and so forth. And then what we see or what we get here is the result 1, then there is result 2, result 3. So based on this, so the weekday, the expression value will match with the values which are given in this function, and from these values whatever is the first matching value will be returned. So in this case, 1st of August 2021 is the date that is being considered, and the day corresponding to that is Sunday. So there it is. This is how the switch function is used. So if you have noted, the expression here returns a numerical value, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One of the 7 numerical values, and there it is. So here I'm going to give you another example. I'll just remove this darkened cell so that the example is revealed here in front of us. So if I go here, the value here is thousands or hundreds or whatever it is. So when I say 100 and the unit here is gram, equals 1 hectogram. So how it works? The switch function here you can very well see on your screen. The switch function is here on the screen. What does it say? So in switch, I have used here the expression as len. So len I6 is what it takes. So if I click onto this function, there it is. You see the switch len I6. So the I6 cell has been taken and the length characteristics of it is taken as an expression. So len function returns the number of characters in that cell. Then the next one, if it is 1, the value is 1, then the result 1 is base unit. When the value is 2, the result 2 is deca. The result 3 is hecto, kilo, mega, and so on and so forth. So as and when this value goes on increasing, so if I make it 1000 grams, it becomes 1 kilogram. So if I go here and say meter, so 1000 meter is equal to 1 kilometer. So whenever I change the unit here, the corresponding units here also change. So based on the length or the length of the characters in this cell, the value goes on changing. So if I make it as say 10,000, then it is megameter. If it is 100,000, then it becomes gigameter. If it is 1,000, then it becomes tera. So 6 zeros over 1. If I go on adding these zeros, so I have made it now 7 zeros and it is peta meter. If I go on for 8, 7, or if I add another 0 here, well, it says it is out of syllabus. So if you go over here, why does it say out of syllabus? The reason being that here I use the parameter out of syllabus because this is the value which returns as a default if at all the expression here does not match the expression here len 6. If it does not match with any of the values in here, then the values and the results, then as a result this will be demonstrated, and that is what we are seeing here. It says out of syllabus. So friends, Here, as and when we go on adding the number of zeros over 1, the corresponding conversion is seen over here in the cell here. So 10 meters is equal to 1 decameter. The same way over here, the values, if I go on writing 0.01 or 0.1, it is 1 decimeter. So the same way as I use the switch function here, the same way I have applied the switch function here. So in this way, you can opt to put in the numerical expressions or a text expression into a switch function. So switch function can work either with a numerical expression or with a text expression. So here was a second example wherein I have explained you the switch function with the input expression as a numerical value. Now let us go on to the next tab, and here I'll be explaining you how switch function can work with the input or the expression as a text value. So already you know how to create a switch function now from our earlier demonstration. So I'll directly go here. In this database there is name. Against that name there is a code either F, M or K, and then the gender is represented over here. So if I go here and double click it, there it is. The switch function is what reveals, or the function how switch function has been used as a function is being revealed in this cell. So it is switch. The expression here is from the F3 cell. Then if the first value is F, then the first result value is female. So now here you see the F3 cell has got an input as F, M or something else than those two alphabets. So F, M or something else. So if it is F, the value is F, then the result value is female, the value is M, the result value is male, and if there is anything else other than F and M, then as a result, the value seen will be transgender. So if you see here in this cell, I have keyed in K, if I had keyed in L, same, the transgender would have been the result. Had it been M, the value would have been gender have been male. So generally whenever online forms are filled, this function becomes very handy for a single expression or a single alphabet as F, M or anything else. So the gender will be replicated by the use of switch function. So this is a typical example wherein the expression is a text value, and as a result we get the output as a gender value. Now here is another example. In this example we see that there are different geometrical figures. These are all two-dimensional figures: circle, square, equilateral triangle and rectangle, and correspondingly the area of this is represented or returned by the use of the switch function. So I'll just explain you the algorithm here. So what is done is, for switch, the expression value b3 is equal to circle. So that is here in b3 it is circle. Then the value in cell C2 is area. This is the value 1, and if that value is true, then the result value or the first result value is pi multiplied by radius raised to 2, that is pi r square. So pi typical or a simple geometry, circle's area is represented by pi r square. So here it is. And if at all the value 2 turns out to be, that is in value in cell C2, if the value turns out to be perimeter, then the result value 2 will be 2 pi into radius. And if at all there is some other value apart from area or perimeter, then the result value will be revisit. So revisit becomes the default result value in case if the required cells do not match with the values given in it. So if at all I go here and I change it to perimeter and say enter, there it is. Immediately the values or the cells from in the column C change to the perimeter values of a circle, of a square, of an equilateral triangle and rectangle. So if I double click here, it is simple. So the value of B4 is equal to square, and if C2 is equal to area, then the result one will be side square. If at all the value in C2 is perimeter, then the result 2, that is the second result, will be 4 multiplied by side. And if it at all there is something else in cell C2, then by default the value will be revisit. The same way the formula is created over here for the equilateral triangle and subsequently for the rectangle. So in this way one can choose or opt to find out the switch values, and the values will be represented or will be returned as per the input in this cell C2. So if at all I go over here and say volume and say enter, there it is. Immediately the reply or the result comes out, we revisit. Or if I go over here and I say wait, even then the same thing is going to happen, the value is going to remain as revisit. And if I have it as an area, there it is, value of areas or the functions or the formula for area replicate here. So this is another example wherein switch function with an expression as a text is written as a value. Now, if at all I go here and I say if B3 is not equal to, this is how we represent not equal to circle. Take my word, friends, the switch function does not work. The reason being the switch function only works with the equal to signs and it does not work with any other symbols. So there it is. It gave a erroneous value 2 pi into radius since I wrote is equal to or not equal to circle. If I shift back to is equal to circle, there it is, the correct value turns out here. So mind well, this is another point to be taken note of for with regard to the switch function. So with this demonstration and explanation about the switch function, let me summarize what we have learned in this video. So first thing is switch function eliminates the requirement of multiple arguments as like nested if or if else. So instead of using if and if else, it is always advisable to use switch function. It reduces the length of the function and the possibilities of the errors to happen reduces drastically. Well, switch function cannot be used with greater than or smaller than sign. So if we use the function if or if s, we can certainly use the greater than, equal to, smaller than signs and symbols or the wild characters as well. But switch function does not work with the other functionalities apart from equal to. The next thing what we learned is the switch function works only with text or the numericals, but not with symbols and wildcard. The last thing, but not the least, we learned that switch function can be nested with many other functions. We already saw that we nested the switch function with len function, with weekday function, and so on and so forth. Many other functions can be nested with switch function. In subsequent video, I'll explain you how switch function can be used with VLOOKUP, nested, and as a result we get various useful results. Well, with this explanation about switch function, I will come to the closure of this video. I hope this was a useful one for you and certainly you must have liked it. If you have liked it, as ever, I will say thumbs up at the YouTube channel page and share this video with other persons who are in need of knowing this function. If you are new to my channel and not subscribed yet, I request you to subscribe to the channel and enjoy many more videos at the channel. I'll be back soon with my next video. Till then, goodbye.